I'm Woody FitzHugh, former PGA touring professional, 3-time Virginia State Open champion, and PGA member since 1975. I've traveled the globe facing some of the toughest, most challenging golf courses on the face of the earth. I've played in all manner of weather conditions and treacherous terrain, and if I'm honest, you won't last a day on courses like these without the right skills. Last year, 28 million golfers made bogeys or worse on courses just like these. Today, I'm going to show you how to survive the pressure of competition and give you the skills you need to come out a winner.
Hi everybody, Woody FitzHugh here with your Tweak of the Week. You know, no matter what our skill level is in the game of golf, all of us have faced the jitters at one time or another. As the Australians say, we spit the dummy. Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about how we handle the pressure and give you some helpful tips to make you more successful when the heat is on. My old boss used to say, if you can't do it on the golf course, you haven't practiced it enough. So let's head over to the practice tee and we'll start with some drivers. The driver. We start every round with it. It's really important to get a good start with it. And the best way to do that is make sure we get a full shoulder turn. Most of the time, when we get nervous or we're playing in a tournament we really want to do well in, we cut that backswing off, we shorten it, and we don't take the club back far enough. And that throws off our timing. Then we lift our hands, we lift our arms, and we come down across the ball, hitting either a big hook or a big push or slice. What we want to do is to make sure that we turn our shoulders fully and completely so that our back is facing the target. That's going to give us the best fighting chance for a good downswing. Secondly, we want to start that downswing at 0 miles per hour. And what do I mean by that? Well, basically, when you make that backswing turn, there needs to be a slight pause right at the top of the backswing. Most of us, when we get really nervous or we really want to hit a good shot, you won't see any transition time between backswing and downswing. We need to have a slight pause at the top before we start down. So make sure you start that downswing at 0 miles per hour. Finally, when you get in a situation where you really need a good drive and you just have to hit it perfect, ratchet that speed back down to about 85 to 90% of what's full. You'll find out it really helps your control, it helps your balance, and 9 times out of 10, that ball is going to go further than when you swing at it full. So now we've talked a little bit about the driver, let's go talk about the iron shots. Iron shots. We use these clubs to attack the pin. And when we get nervous, sometimes we lift the club with our hands and arms and we don't make a good enough turn. Never lift the golf club. Throughout the entire golf swing, the golf club is never lifted. All we're doing is keeping our hands and arms quiet and letting the shoulders turn around our head. Let the hands and arms ride along with the shoulders. You'll find your backswing smoothing out and you'll find your solidness of contact greatly increasing. So the second thing we want to talk about is hip action. Most of the time when we get nervous, we really want to hit a good iron shot, we rush those hips through the downswing, and this causes all kinds of problems, from fat to top to shank to push. What we need to understand is the hips actually have to move rather slowly so that our hands and arms can catch up to deliver the blow. We should never move our hips faster than the speed at which we walk. So if I'm going to walk like this, I don't want my hips to ever move faster than that in the golf swing. Remember, when the heat is on, sometimes we try to be too precise, too cautious. Give yourself some leeway on that target area. Center of the green is never a bad thing. It's a lot better than a missed green. So let's head on over to the putting and chipping green and work on that short game. Pitching, chipping, and putting are the scoring components of the game, and as such, they can make or break our round. If we can master these shots, it's going to take the pressure off the rest of our game. The first thing we want to talk about is to keep that weight on the left side throughout the entire swing on pitches and chips. It's a smaller swing, so it doesn't require any weight shift. And keeping that weight on the left is going to ensure you crisper shots with more backspin. The second reason why we want to keep that weight on the left is because it minimizes the motion of the swing. The less motion in any golf swing, the better off we are. So keep that weight on the left all the way through the swing. Mentally, especially when we're under the gun, we want to make sure we can visualize that chip before we ever hit it. And the reason is because there's so many different ways to hit it. We can hit it low and have it run. We can hit it high and land it soft. So you've got to know in your mind what you're trying to do, because we need to know how that ball is going to come off the club face. The next thing we want to do is keep our hands and arms relaxed all the way through this swing, but especially at impact, because that's going to help us keep our touch when the pressure is on. So the final thing about chipping and pitching is we want to keep this left wrist right in line with this left forearm. What that's going to do for us is maximize our directional control. It's going to give us crisper chips and better contact and a better feel for distance. Most of all, it's going to stop that right hand from taking over the shot, and we all know how deadly that is. So now that we've talked about pitching and chipping, let's go on over to the putting green and talk about the little short stick. I saved the best till last, the short stick. You know, all of us have spit the dummy from one time or another, missing a little short 4-footer or 3-footer we thought we should make. But we're going to give you some things to remember today to help you the next time you're under the gun. Remember that number one, no golf shot is pregnant with significance. And what do I mean by that? Well, basically, most of the time we get to thinking that this one putt is the most crucial putt of all. In actuality, we've hit a lot of putts during the same round of golf. It's going to be more than 60 strokes that make up this round, so one is not any more important than any of the other ones. So remember that next time you get nervous over that 4-footer. Once you read that putt, stick with it. Stay committed to your read. What happens is, as we get nervous and we really want to make these little short putts, we start seeing things that aren't there. Our imagination runs wild. Usually, the very first look you give is the very best one. Stick with that and stay committed. So now we talked about drivers, iron shots, pitching, chipping, and putting. And the only other piece of advice I got for you is to go have fun. Golf is the greatest game ever invented, and you can play it at any age. So go get yourself some buddies and hit the links. So next time you're playing in a golf tournament that means a lot to you, remember to stick with the fundamentals. They'll never let you down. Remember to stay committed to your plan. That's what got you there in the first place. Remember to practice hard before you ever get out there. That's going to give you the confidence that you need to come out a champion. I'm FitzHugh, and that is your Tweak of the Week. Hi everybody, FitzHugh here with your Tweak of the Week. Today we're going to talk just a little bit about the dreaded top shot. We're all familiar with it, but you might not know what causes it. Basically, a top is nothing more than pulling away from the ball at the moment of impact, and we usually do that in 3 ways. Number one, we tend to straighten up from the waist, pulling the club away from the ball, and we get a top. Remember to stay bent over all the way through the swing, back swing, through downswing. Next thing we do is we tend to straighten up from the knees. Result, we pull away from the ball and get a top. Make sure you keep those knees flexed and relaxed all the way through the swing. And finally, we collapse that left arm through impact. Make sure that left arm stays straight, especially at impact, because that's the radius of our swing arc. That's what's going to give us the good power and direction that we need. So next time you're facing that dreaded top shot, remember, stay bent over all the way through the swing, keep those knees flexed and relaxed, and make sure that left arm stays straight. You'll look up and see that ball going straight at the pin. I'm FitzHugh, and that is your Tweak of the Week.